Welcome back to another vlog. My name is Henry Singleton and today I'm joined by fellow Ipswich Town fan Freddie Embleton.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining today, mate. I wasn't obviously here for a vlog last week, so a few different things to catch up on. And let's start with the Wolves game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I'll be honest, I couldn't actually get there, but I think with social media now you can kind of get a good gauge of how the game went. I watched the 10-minute highlights on iPlayer, on the Ipswich player. Going into the game, I thought it was one we couldn't afford to concede too early on because that would put Wolves on the front foot straight away. And knowing us as a team, we're not going to get back. We're not going to sort of put them under too much pressure if things are going against us. And we conceded early on, 14th minute, Matt Doherty.
I think definitely it's kind of one of those things where you wanted it to kind of be the other way around, didn't you? Us to get that first goal, and then you want to say, right, you're top of the league, see what you can do, can you break us down? But instead it was the other way around. And to be honest, I think we never really like breaking them down at all. My thoughts were kind of men v boys, I think, in terms of, I know we didn't get thrashed by any means, but just I don't feel like we ever looked like really breaking them down and didn't have any kind of clear cut opportunities.
Yeah, no, I think we were restricted to long range shots. Raddy made a couple of routine saves, one hit the side netting from Wagborn, Wolves never came under too much pressure.
But they are a very, very good side, aren't they? It's a side that spent a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a tough one with Wolves because not many teams are going to get many points off them. But at the same time, you don't want to just be in the league. You don't want to be ruling out a game totally and treat it as a total write-off. So we move on. We can't get too down about it.
No. I think Mick said after that he wasn't unhappy with the performance by any means. It was just a case of they're a very good side and we put in a shift, as he likes to say.
Yeah, exactly. I think it wasn't our worst performance. Created a couple of chances, but they're the better quality.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually at the game, and I thought a couple of kind of standouts for them. I really liked Ndai. I don't know if you know much about him.
Yeah, well, I know he was playing for Villarreal a couple of years ago. And he centre midfield, kind of quite a physical presence, I think.
They had some big boys.
Yeah, do they have Willie Bolly? Was he?
Yes,
Boy.
Brian Bennett.
Yeah.
So they've got some big lads, but then they kind of mixed it up with a little diminutive Jota and...
Yeah, Jota, Cavallero, Helder Costa. So they've got that good balance of physicality and sort of nimble, mobile players who are going to cause problems. And you can see that with their goal, actually. There's a lot of players on the move. Full-backs getting forward, both sides.
With the goal as well. With the goal, that was the case of one full-back crossing to the other.
Yeah.
And I think you make a point there in terms of the balance. They have got really balance in that team, haven't they, with the big lads, and then they mix it up with those kind of technical, diminutive players. I don't think we can complain too much about that one. In terms of kind of standout players for Ipswich, obviously I thought Ndai impressed for them. I thought Gleeson had a good game coming into the team. Passes the ball quite well, gets on the ball, he's not afraid to kind of demand the ball. I don't think he's a player that's going to set the world alight necessarily.
No.
But he's one of those kind of typical McCarthy signings where he's got something to prove, isn't he?
Exactly.
He's out of favour.
Out of the Birmingham squad, hasn't played much football. He's played for Wolves under McCarthy, he's Irish, so that fits ticks the boxes. But I think, and at Bolton as well, when he came on, apparently he did a good job. Looked to get forward. He was involved in the goal we scored there. So it sounded like for someone who's not played much football and whose confidence probably isn't sky high, he's done a decent job. I
thought so. Yeah, I thought it was decent. He also put in a full-blooded tackle, shall we say? I don't know if you heard about this on. I'm not sure which one of their players, but he flew into a tackle in the first half.
He'd given us a foul.
But he got the ball, and I don't really know what the technical rules are on this anymore, but. It's one of those ones you think, how can that be a foul? North Down were in uproar.
Maybe too much force. I don't know.
I think that's it, isn't it? It's over use of force or something. If you get the ball now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be a foul. But I thought he was good, and I thought our man of the match once again was Bartosz Wiakowski.
Familiar theme.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, he was always going to come under a lot of pressure for this match. Wolves are so good going forward, and they're good at the back, so there's going to be a lot coming his way. I saw he made a couple of good saves. Didn't think he could do too much with the goal. It was one of those, it kind of went into the ground, wasn't going in too fast, but it was just right in the corner. So
no, definitely not. I don't think it was. It was one of those. I'm not sure how many headers Matt Doherty has scored in his life because I I mean, if you meant to do it, then it's quite clever to kind of head it into the ground like that. But I don't think
it didn't
much about that.
Great contact, but it was still a good header in its own way.
Exactly. And I mean, some good saves from Bart. I wouldn't say any of them were. I think they were kind of saves where if you'd let any of those in, you would have been
pointing the finger a bit and saying, good especially saves. The high standards you set over the years.
Exactly.
We'll
draw a line under that one. And unfortunately, we are kind of, we have been in the last couple of weeks slipping back into our old mid-table selves. And it doesn't look like we're going to be posing much of a threat on those playoffs.
No, we've got a couple of winnable games in inverted commas coming up. Sunderland away, then Burton at home, and we win those. And Sunday we're in touching distance. We've got the derby coming out, which is normally 0 points, but you never know. So we're not totally out of it, but I do think we're slipping towards mid-table obscurity.
You do make a good point there, though, because I've found that so often this season and in seasons gone by in the Championship where you do kind of, so to say, we go to Sunderland and we win, and then we beat Burton at home on the 10th, I think it is, and suddenly you are back in the mix, and it's a strange league where that can happen. It goes from being in the doldrums and that kind of attitude towards it, and then you get going, so you never know. But
I think this season more than any, actually, you think you've been on a bad run, and suddenly I think we beat Leeds, we were sort of 4 points off the playoffs or something. So as bad as things seem to be going, this league every single year does seem to throw up surprises, and you're never really out of it. You string a couple of wins together and suddenly you're in touching distance.
Definitely. But if we do finish mid-table, it's probably where we're at the moment, isn't it?
I think so. In terms of our squad, the money spent, don't want to point too much to the money spent, but it does have an impact. No. I think it's about right. You've got a few teams punching above their weight. Sheffield United, Bristol City are doing well, although they're slowly assembling a really good squad. So I'd say mid-table, I think about 12, 13.
Yeah, and I think as well, it is becoming harder and harder when you've got teams like Wolves in the league, isn't it, where they can go. I mean, they have a bid for someone the other day, 30 million or something, didn't they, I think?
Really? Well, they bid for someone.
I think they played for Inter Milan, I think. But when teams can do that in the league, then, you're up against it.
Ruben Neves cost, I think, 15, 18 million.
Yeah,
signed a guy from Valencia in this window for not a few million.
Exactly.
It's an increasingly sort of unbalanced playing field. So you're always up against it, and you're going to have a few teams who are expected to go up and more who are punching above their weight more than anything else. So it is tough.
And I've spoken, I think it was in the last vlog or the first vlog, about kind of Mick McCarthy, and it's a weird one, Ipswich, it seems to be quite divided. I'd say probably the majority Mick McCarthy out now, would you say?
I'd say so. I think you're looking at about 75-25% in favour of Mick going. Either saying, okay, go at the end of the season or go now. There aren't going to be many who are saying, I hope you renew your contract. I think he's got a clause for 2 more years, but I don't think it's going to happen. No. I don't think many people want to see it happen.
No.
I don't think he particularly wants it to happen, to be honest, the way he's been talking. I think he knows what the fans think of him. We know what he thinks of us as a whole. So I think he's going to see out the rest of his contract. He's done a decent job, but I think he's just going to go. It's going to be quite an amicable parting on the whole from club to manager. Maybe not so much fans to manager, but...
I agree. It's a bit sad, actually, isn't it? How obviously, when he came in and he arrested the slide when we were quite near the bottom when he first joined, and then I think we were Christmas, wasn't it? And then he got us in the playoffs. Obviously, got us close to the playoffs, and then kind of drifted slowly into mid-table obscurity. And it is a shame how there is now that divide between the fans. I've said in the vlog before, I'm still of the opinion. Granted, I don't think he plays very attractive football, and I'm not a big fan of some of his comments. He says some strange things, doesn't he? But I still think until we get into until Marcus Evans decides to pump a bit of money into the club. I mean, do you think? What's your thoughts?
I agree with you. I think he's done a good job considering the very limited resources he's had. He's done a good job. You don't want to use the "be careful what you wish for" phrase, but I mean, he's good at what he does. On the whole, he keeps it tight. Not so much recently, but it is a risk getting a new manager in, and I think where I stand right now is I think he'll go at the end of the season. I want him to go. I find
it's gone too far, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's, so. With the relationship with the fans, I think it's gone too far. And I mean, his press conference the other day, he made some really odd comments, as he so often does, about McGoldrick leaving with him through the
we'll go holding hands together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird. So I think it's all sort of
it's got
paving the way for him to leave. Leave when the season's up.
Yeah,
which I don't think would be the worst thing in the world.
One thing I do think as well with regards to his kind of future is, I mean, it seems pretty clear that he will go in the summer, but until it's going to be difficult with the season ticket renewal coming up.
Yeah.
Because if the club don't announce that he's definitely going to leave it at the end of the season, then I don't think a lot of people will renew, because a lot of people don't like Mick McCarthy. And I think they'll be pretty keen to have some news that he's definitely going to be out the door before they renew their season.
Yeah, I think as long as he's here, people aren't going to be renewing too readily. So. And I can't see the club making an announcement or making an announcement in April or anything. So, because it does happen when Pellegrini left, I think it was announced in January or something.
Yeah. But then that creates a strange atmosphere, doesn't it? Because the players, do they then start not playing for the manager?
Yeah, exactly. They know it's going to be a new era coming up. So I think it's... Yeah, I think he'll probably leave in May. It'll probably be announced maybe just after the last game, or maybe a little bit before. But it's one argument in favour of him leaving is that we'll probably get more of an atmosphere about more excitement. People will be renewing season tickets. People will be buying season tickets who perhaps didn't renew.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, there's different aspects to it. I think he will probably leave. We'll see a benefit in the atmosphere and the general mood around the club. Results wise, we don't know. It could be stroke of genius. We could slip down further in the table. So
no, it is an interesting one. I just think it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's the culture we live now, but it's kind of that thing of everyone wants, things happen now. We want a really fashionable foreign manager, a young manager to come in who's going to fix all our problems, and I just don't think it works like that.
No, I always think for every David Wagner, there's a Stana Solbakken or Henning Berg.
Exactly.
So, and you look at Norwich now, they've followed the Huddersfield blueprint, and it hasn't been a great success. It could be in the future.
Yes,
he came under a lot of pressure, but they stuck with him, which I think was probably the right thing to do. And so I don't think you necessarily have to just follow the crowd and think that sort of young, hungry foreign manager is the way to go to make us play amazing football. You just got to think about it. Maybe a young English manager, or if there's a good manager like, I don't know, maybe Gary Monk and Mark Warburton, who have experience, aren't sort of Gary Monk's quite young to be fair, but there's different routes to go down. I don't think there's one avenue which is going to guarantee success.
No, and I think along with kind of a new manager, and you mentioned Norwich there, and obviously that they haven't been great this season. They are now kind of level on points with us. But I think another thing that Ipswich fans want, and I think which Norwich have, is they have a blueprint and they have an identity and they have a philosophy and they have a way of playing. And I think we need that communicated to the fans. What's the general kind of plan with Ipswich? Is it just hoofball every week?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be a kind of identity, or there's not a 4 or 5 year plan. There's not Ian Milne coming out and saying, right, this is the plan. This is what's going to happen. We're going to get a new manager in. I just feel like it's kind of living in the moment and kind of just bumbling along. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I mean, there was that 5-year plan. I think Marcus Evans had laid out, which one of them was involved. I think they wanted like 80% of our starters, but within the next the next couple of years to be from the academy, which is looking very unlikely.
Although having said that, this year has been one of the positives, isn't it? A few academy players.
Finn Downs, Hyman's coming back. Giselle, obviously, that's out of our hands, everyone's hands. So that's good, but I think there's a sort of plan, but I don't feel like they haven't sort of said we need to stick to this. They're kind of reacting to each situation in a very short term. Whereas Norwich, they've got a plan. They're in a transitional phase. And I think they're similar to us right now in that their fans don't really know what their game plan is, how they play, but they know that there is a blueprint that they're
striving towards something.
Exactly, and that the guys on the touchline and in the boardroom have a plan which they want to go down, and they're easily, and it's not going to be overnight. So that's kind of what we want, I suppose.
Exactly. This is going to sound so negative coming from an Ipswich Town fan, and I am quite conscious of that. But I want to pose the question, are Ipswich Town the most boring team in England? There's a few things to suggest they are.
Yeah, I think if you're looking in terms of the last 15 years, so recent history, I think you could make quite a good case that they are. Mm-hmm. Same division for 15 years, three playoff
campaigns in which we didn't reach the final in any.
Yeah, and then probably about three relegation fighting campaigns, which although it's excitement in a sort of negative way. It gives you something to play for, but you'd rather not be down there.
Of course. I would say we never really came that. Did we ever come that close to getting
relegated? Not really.
There's a few scares, weren't there?
There's a few scares. It was more like looking up until about March time. We were in there, and then we steered clear.
Yeah.
I remember last year. I think it was when we beat Newcastle at home. That steered us clear, and that was probably, I can't remember when that was, but there's still some way to go.
Yeah.
So, and other than that, I mean, that gives you about 9 seasons of mid-table, not up one end, not down the other. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of football to be playing and not have much to play for. So there's a couple of that, cup runs, lack of.
Yes, definitely.
Only, 2013 or so when we beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
Got to the semi-final and then lost to Arsenal in the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, haven't won an FA Cup for 7 years or something?
2010, I think, was the last time we won an FA Cup match.
Yeah, so I think if you're looking in terms of short-term history, last 15 years, right now, if you put away any bias, then we're up there. We're
certainly up there. I mean, I've written some things down here, some of which you've mentioned already. Well, the main ones you've mentioned already. So yeah, 16 years in the Championship, obviously 3 failed playoff campaigns. And it's worth mentioning as well that, as you said, of course, traditionally, we're not a boring club at all, are we? We've won the UEFA Cup, we've won the FA Cup, we've won the league title, as was the old First Division.
Yeah.
But obviously, in the time that we've been supporting Ipswich, the majority of that has been pretty poor, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just about remember the Premier League when we were last in there, but
yeah, I mean, my first ever Ipswich game was the Bolton second playoff.
Was it?
So yeah, at home. But I didn't really. I know. I mean, that's sort of set the tone, and then for the next 12 months or so, it was similar to that, but it's been downhill since then, pretty much.
So you started just before me.
So that was 2000. That would have been May 2000.
Yes. And the month was May. Jim and Jilton saved the day.
Exactly. Exactly. But I didn't really have a full appreciation of what it was. Didn't get to go to Wembley. My mum got the nod instead.
That's mad.
It was a waste of a ticket.
Yeah. As I know Melissa, and she's not the biggest football fan.
No, she hates it. Absolutely hates it.
So yeah, my first game was a 2-1 defeat to Crystal Palace in the Championship.
Oh really?
I was surprisingly quite late to it. The first season we went down. But anyway, so 16 years of Championship and a very boring style of football at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's been like that for certainly since McCarthy came. That was more at the start, more out of convenience than anything else. We had to get out of the relegation scrap. Yeah. And it worked for the first 3 seasons or 2.5 seasons. Upwards trajectory. Finished 15th or something. McCarthy's first half year, then 9th, then 6th. Mm-hmm. Playing not great football. Even when we finished 6th, a lot of it was going direct to Murphy.
Yeah, and it worked.
But it worked, so you can understand why we stuck with it. But then since probably about September of the following year. When we got hammered by Reading, it's been basically turgid.
Yeah, no, it has definitely, and I think it's one of those things where you don't mind playing bad football, well, not bad football, but direct football like we were a couple of seasons ago. If you're winning, it's all about winning, isn't it? For me, it is.
Yeah, I think so. I'd rather win.
But it is nice to do it in the right way. I think the last time we actually played consistently good football was probably on Jim Jilton, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. We played brilliant football. I mean, I often see on sort of social media the Ipswich Town accounts put sort of throwback games.
Yeah.
And we were playing brilliant football, scoring sort of 3s and 4s.
Yeah.
Well, now that might be a couple of times a season.
Yeah.
And even so, not with great football, but
it
is about winning games. But you'd rather see good football than sort of direct stuff.
I think you want one or the other. That's what it
is. I think so.
If you're not doing very well, then let's at least try and play in the right way.
You can find some consolation, I suppose.
If the results aren't good and you're playing football, then it's not good. Okay, so no FA Cup wins since 2010, boring football, 16 years in the Championship, not sounding great. the atmosphere at Ipswich Town pretty poor.
Yeah, as a result of what we've mentioned. Because of the bad football, the results haven't been great, and just
attendances have dwindled.
Attendances, they're looking down. Not far above 10,000 now, which is quite saying something considering before. I mean, years gone by, over 20,000, some regularity.
Yeah.
But that's all because of the bad football, not winning matches. We've seen a few youth academy players break out. No one really to write home about.
No.
So it's a combination of things, and not making much of a splash in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Which gets people excited. People want to see big money signings, and we just haven't really been doing that. We gave it a go with sort of Paul Taylor signed for 1.5, Priskin signed for over $1 million.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't worked out, and since then we've hardly spent any money.
Doesn't help when the club decide to increase ticket prices either, does it?
Yeah, they don't do themselves any favours. They really, it's just mind-bogglingly stupid. And even though season ticket prices didn't go up by much, it was just the principle that they went up after the worst season in 46 years or something.
Yeah, it was a PR own goal, that wasn't it? Because as you say, it wasn't increased by much. I don't know what it was. It was 1%, or it was very small.
1 or 3% or something.
Yeah. So, but just strange because obviously that's going to be.
But you're still raising them despite what's happened before.
Exactly.
And they tried to sort of make it up by. They lowered the match day prices. They set up that scheme, to be fair to them, for the away matches, £25 cap.
Yeah.
So they've taken good steps to make up for that, but and so they're learning, but they just need to get it right a bit more. I think.
Agreed. I think definitely there needs to be. I'll be interested to see, because obviously the season ticket prices will be coming out quite soon. What they'll be.
That would be interesting to see. Yeah.
But another stat that I've got here is that last season it cost Ipswich Town fans £13.90 to see their team score a goal at Portman Road. If you work it out like that. And
so per goal.
Per goal
at Portman Road.
At Portman Road, and that was the worst in the whole of the
worst
championship.
ratio. I mean, that's quite a lot per goal.
Quite poor. So last season was poor, wasn't it? At least this season was scoring a few more goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were very few highlights. A couple of Tom Lawrence's goals were the highlights, and that was just about it.
Yeah.
And the Newcastle at home game as well was brilliant. But other than that,
it's quite sad, isn't it? We're picking out one game and the odd goal from Tom Lawrence. I am quite conscious that since I've started these vlogs, that I'm quite negative, but I think I'm probably within my rights to be. There's not much to be positive as an Ipswich Town fan now, and obviously I think I genuinely am, and I think you probably are as well, fairly pessimistic as an Ipswich Town fan. But
I think so.
I don't want to be one of those kind of deluded fans that's we're going to win the league, and because what's the point? And it's not good. It's not great at the moment, is it? I mean, when you, as I say, I went to my first game in the first year in the Championship, and I've seen nothing but Championship football, and I'm just kind of getting a bit sick of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you can justify your opinions, whether they're negative or positive, then that makes up for it a bit.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too negative. We can try and find some positives going forward. But right now it does seem like we've been sort of plateauing for such a long time
100%.
that there's not much has changed. Rewind a few months, I think, when Waghorn was playing really well, Garner was scoring a few goals,
it all looked
Selena was beginning to, it was looking like, okay, this could be good, and if you're really positive and you could make positive vlogs about it, because we were playing well.
I wish I had started it.
Yeah, I know. But right now we're in a state of sort of plateauing, flatlining.
I think Stuart Watson, the Daily Times reporter, who I think is really good, he summed it up really well recently, and he kind of said that all the agony and the ecstasy goes on around Ipswich Town, and we just kind of exist.
It's apathy now, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? We just watch everything else go on, and we're just very kind of Suffolk, I suppose, in our ways.
Sleepy Suffolk. Managers get sacked around us. Some teams go on good runs. Teams get relegated. Teams get promoted, and we're just there.
Exactly.
We're just there.
Exactly. So I think having done a little bit of research, I would conclude that we're probably not the most boring team in England, but we are up there. But I did do a couple of bits of research on some other teams, which is quite interesting because there are some boring teams out there. Yeah. And by the way, when we talk about boring, I'm not talking about kind of depressing clubs, like if you think of a Hull City who've been taken over by an owner who wants to change everything and they're getting relegated and now they're battling relegation in the Championship. I'm not talking about that kind of thing. I'm talking about pure boredom of just like stagnation and staying in the same position.
Yeah.
So I looked at Rochdale, and they are quite boring. It seems that they've spent more. I'll just hit you with some stats here, Freddie.
Yeah.
They've spent more seasons in the bottom tier of English football than anyone else. They had a 36-year unbroken residence in League Two from 1974 to 2010.
That's impressive, like halfway there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, hopefully we won't get there. But you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Since being accepted into the Football League in 1921, the club has remained in the bottom two tiers. So they've never either dropped out of the Football League or they've never been in the Championship.
Above the league,
just
above
stayed in
League
those
One,
two.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty poor.
Yeah.
And since they were established in 1907, they haven't won a trophy. At least if we look back at Ipswich Town, we've got a glorious...
We've got trophies, yeah. So on the larger time frame, I'd say we're head and shoulders above that.
Yeah.
You'd like to think so anyway.
And also just Rochdale. I mean, do you know anything about Rochdale as a place?
No, near the M62, it's about all I know. I've never been there. I don't plan on going there anytime soon. Unless we find ourselves in League One, because we know they'll be there. So
yeah, they'll be there. Yeah.
So, but no, I don't know much about Rochdale.
Spotfield.
Spotland. And then Keith Hill's their manager.
Yeah,
he's at Barnsley.
He's an exciting
which
character.
says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so.
Okay, so I think we can. They've got to be more.
Rochdale, yeah, I think so.
I'll tell you what they have. They have got a very quick player on FIFA who's an absolute beast. If you ever play FIFA and you get a random team, they've got a guy called Jordan Slew.
Oh, I know him.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I think he played for Blackburn back in the day.
Knowledge, right?
Through Football Manager, I think that would be.
He's very quick.
Anyway. But very quick.
Yeah.
Then I think they've got Calvin Andrew as well, who's scored a big goal.
Yeah, big lad. Yeah. So that's them. They're more boring than us, so that's something. And I think, funny enough, two teams which I think are both based kind of Greater Manchester. Yeah, exactly. The other one, Oldham, are also very, very boring. So I think they're the only team, I'm alright in thinking this, apart from obviously the Premier League, so in the Championship, League 1 and League 2, I think they're the only team that's spent more time in their division for a consecutive amount of time. So they're in their 21st season in League 1.
Really? I didn't know that. That is quite impressive, actually.
That is
mind-numbingly boring.
It is boring. Oh, there goes 10. And
21 years.
21 years, thank you.
And then, I mean, they were in the Premier League in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably dropped down consecutively or twice within 3 years.
And you kind of think if you're going to be, we're kind of their equivalent, but a bit better, aren't we? So if you're going to be that boring type, you might as well at least be playing the higher divisions.
Yeah.
So they, by default, I think, are more boring than us.
I think so.
They've also, this is the thing that I found out, and this is just awful. So these are their finishes since 2009-10. Okay, so since 2009-10, 16th, 17th, 16th, 19th, 15th, 15th, 17th, 17th, and they are now in the relegation.
23rd, 22nd, 23rd. That is really bad. I mean, they're kind of hovering above relegation scrap territory. They've probably been involved in a few.
Yeah.
They've probably had a few seasons where they've just been meandering, maybe lost their last couple and ended up 16th, 17th.
Yeah.
That is really boring. I would rather be an Ipswich fan than an Oldham fan. Listening to that, I mean, those positions really speak volumes.
Yeah, 100%. Both of them, I think, are more boring than Ipswich Town. Coventry City, they haven't finished in the top 6 of any division since the 1969-70 season.
That is ridiculous. That's an amazing statistic. That is an amazing statistic. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know, they're in the Premier League for so long because they were obviously there for the 90s and early noughties.
Yeah. So I mean, what have they had to shout about? I think they win the FA Cup at some point, or the League Cup.
I'm
not sure either, but they're pretty boring. And obviously, not only are they boring, but they're internal.
They were playing at was it Sixfields, Southampton Stadium for a bit. They lost to Rico Arena.
and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember listening to Talk Sport on the way down from Newcastle once, and hours. It was honestly the most depressing. No. As well as the boredom side of it, it's just really depressing.
You're a fan. Imagine going to your home games in Northampton from Coventry. I mean, that's just.
I know.
So depressing, isn't it?
I know. And now they go back to the Rico, and it's just empty. I mean,
There's nothing worse, is it, when you watch highlights of a football match on TV and you see empty seats.
When it's like a league game, probably very like competitive, and it's just so many empty seats. It's really not good.
It's like at Portman Road. Whenever I take a photo from the north stand, I always have to try and put a filter in, which makes you look like there's more people in the ground than there actually are, or get the lights right, or whatever. So there's those 3 teams. I think if we're going to talk Premier League teams, I think West Brom are pretty boring.
I think I agree with that. They had a few years of yo-yoing between the Championship and the Premier League.
They probably enjoyed that more, didn't they? I mean, this is just, if you look at...
I think so.
They consistently kind of sacrifice cup competitions a bit like we do, but you can kind of understand it more with them because the financial clout...
Yeah, I mean, surviving in the Premier League is a genuine motivation for a club in a league where there's a bit of a glass ceiling because you're in the top 6. So whereas for us, there's genuine incentive to have a cut run going.
Exactly.
But we haven't.
Yeah.
Although they did beat obviously Liverpool the other day.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
But on the whole, they haven't had any cup runs.
I think we can conclude that we're not the most boring team.
No,
but we are quite boring.
I think we're pretty boring.
We're pretty boring.
I think our history probably just about keeps us above the likes of Oldham and Rochdale. And
do you think it's one of these things? I always think if and this might not just be because we're not a Premier League team and a lot of people, I would say non-proper football fans, don't really care about any teams in the Championship or below, but I often find whenever I'm asked what team I support and I say Ipswich Town, it's kind of like, okay.
I mean, not many fans will then engage in a good conversation where they know, like, they might say,
Joe Garner,
they might say, is Mick McCarthy still your manager?
Always,
that's about it. And then you end up talking about Manchester United or Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
Is often the way.
Well, we're proper football fans. And also, I would like to say, that despite all this negativity about Ipswich, I think you're the same as me, and my love has never gone for them. I still go. It's not a case of, I'm going to stop going. It's just boring. But my passion is still there.
Yeah, I still follow it. I still spend more time on TWTD than I should do. I went to the Sheffield United FA Cup game on my own in the end because I was at a loose end.
There we go.
And if that's not going to drive you away, I don't know what will.
No,
but I still, every single season, I have that optimism that this could be our year. It could be the season where you punch above your weight.
Yeah.
And I think that playoff season from a few years ago just left that spark there where you think, okay, it can happen. So it's I can't see my passion diminishing anytime soon.
No, let's hope that we, as we said at the beginning of the vlog, that we go to Burton, we win that one, and then we go to Sunderland, we beat them, and then we beat Burton, and then we got the Norwich game, and if we do that, then you never know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the Norwich game, who knows? I mean, we've kind of been drilled to think there's only one thing that's going to happen.
Agreed.
But I do think we should be beating Sunderland to one or two home games in the last year and a small bit.
Yeah, we might as well actually kind of...
Should we preview that now?
Preview that now,
briefly. Nicely.
Yes, exactly. I think, they've had a couple of good... I think Chris Coleman, I don't know how they got Chris Coleman, I do not know.
I know, he probably underestimated the size of the job.
I think so.
In front of him, because Sunderland are a big club, good stadium. They've got a few good players in there, not loads to be honest, but they've got a few, and you naturally think, they're in the Premier League, they've been there for a while, they're not going to go straight through the trapdoor.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they lost 3-1 to Birmingham yesterday, so, I mean, that really reaffirms that they're right in the dogfight. Yeah,
they're a classic case of a team that kind of, like you said, gets relegated and then ends up struggling again the following season, like, I don't know, Portsmouth, I guess. And who else?
Wolves went straight through. Yeah. Obviously, fortunes for them have changed, but... And you think as the season goes on, you think, oh, they'll get out of it. And now we've reached the end of January. They're still down there. They're still not looking like they're going to be. No. They're going to steer away from danger. So you think, okay, they're in it. They've got to write off the season and just survive.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And go again. They nearly went a whole calendar year without winning.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
They beat Fulham or something the day before. On the day. Yeah.
364 days.
Imagine that. That's boring.
That's boring, yeah. That's just depressing.
Yeah, that is so...
but, I think I'm actually going to the game, so I'm making the long trek up to your old stomping ground for Newcastle. ATM train out of Euston. So there you go.
It's a long old way. Yeah, King's Cross to Newcastle. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
It'll be a great day. I think hopefully we'll win. Hopefully it'll be an entertaining game. There'll be some goals. You have a great night in Newcastle afterwards.
Yeah, buzzing for that. That's kind of the football will.
It's more than just a football away game.
Well, it is with Ipswich Town. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll win that one. So that's that. Let's talk about transfers. Not much going on.
Moving on. Not much going on. We signed Gleeson, who we mentioned earlier, and Carter-Vickers, who both started. Carter-Vickers started the first two, Bolton and the last two, I should say, Bolton and Wolves. Haven't seen either game in full, so he did alright. I expect him to be replaced by Webster when Webster's fit. But how was he on?
He was pretty solid. He's a big boy, by the way. I didn't realise what a beast he is.
Is he? Well, I thought he was only 6 foot or something.
No, I don't mean in terms of height.
Of like bulk.
He looks like a rugby player. Yeah.
Oh, really?
But yeah, he was pretty solid. I think I'd probably say it's a bit like a referee with a centre back, and this is a weird comparison, but if you don't notice them too much, then they're probably
that's quite a good thing. Yeah, I think so.
So I thought, he was decent, and I think he fitted into that Sheffield United team quite well.
Yeah, he did.
It's quite strange that they.
I was surprised they let him go. And he was playing. I think he played in the FA Cup game that I regrettably went to.
Did he?
We didn't have a shot on target, so
we didn't. No.
That reflects
well
on the back four.
Yeah.
When we signed him, I was pleased. I'm glad it wasn't someone who'd been let go, or someone who hadn't played much football or hadn't had much championship experience. He'd done well. I think he played about 18 games for Sheffield United in a successful Sheffield United side.
Yeah.
So that was a good signing.
Good pedigree as well, coming from Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly, and he'll know Grant Ward, so that will probably help settle him. So that was good, and then obviously Gleeson as well.
Yeah, and am I right thinking Gleeson's got mixed up with? He is a permanent.
He's a permanent. Birmingham let him. Ripped his contract out. He signed him on the day.
And
he's the end of the season.
I think we said this at the beginning of the vlog, but he's a kind of typical McCarthy, something to prove.
Yeah.
He might do alright.
I think so. I think we could do worse than him.
Do we know how old he is?
I think he's about 29.
So he's not. So he's okay. He's not
over the hill, but he's got could have a couple of years doing a job.
Yeah.
In him, I think it's tough because we were missing so many centre midfielders, and we've slightly been backed into a corner in terms of
we need bodies.
Yeah. And you're not going to get too many exciting.
No.
Creative midfielders on the cheap that we're looking for, so
very true.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him playing with Skews, Conley in a 3, and that could work. I think Conley's actually the most impressive person.
I like Conley. I really like him. Yeah. It's a shame that he's on loan, isn't he, from Everton?
Yeah, I know. All the best players seem to be on loan.
He's good. I think he's got a good attitude as well, and he just gets on with it, and he's nice and tidy, and I like him.
Yeah, he's good on the ball, and he flies in for tackles, he challenges in the air, and he tries to look forward when he can.
Yeah.
Which is something we've been lacking over the years, so I think he's been a positive.
And he's got a bit of a goal threat, hasn't he?
Yeah, as well. He's contributed for 3-4 goals.
Yeah, and you can. I don't think it's just a case of he's popped up in a fluky position. You can see that he has got that kind of eye for goal where Cole's definitely.
Yeah, so I think so. His goal against Reading, I think it was, where he scored really early on. Yes. He was in the midfielder breaking forward, and it came up to him near the edge of the box and didn't strike him particularly well. But it went off the back of that. He was in the right position, thinking forwards. Whereas Skews and Douglas wouldn't have been there. You would have thought. No. He is a positive.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think the best news we could have had during this transfer window was Bartos signing a new deal, 3-year deal.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
I think that's really good news. I think it was kind of up and down. This Palace's deal for Getafe goalkeeper was kind of on, then off, then on, then they were signing him in the summer, signing him in January. You didn't really know. Then he got injured, of course, and having not been injured for ages, suddenly tweaks his calf. So it was all a bit, we didn't really know. And then the other day Mick announced it that he'd signed and he was thrilled. I think Mick said he came in and said he wanted to sign a new deal.
Yeah.
He was quoted as saying. So
a bumpy new contract, I
imagine. Bumpy new contract, I would have thought he's probably the top earner. Maybe him and Michael, maybe go on coming from. Yeah. And McGoldrick as well, who is another story as well, on the transfer front, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. Great news about Bart. I think I think probably a couple of reasons that he stayed. I don't think he would have wanted to go on somewhere in the Premier League where he wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
So he's in such good form, and I think his family are well settled and stuff. He's got young children, so it's didn't want to uproot them. So that's fantastic that he signed. And as you mentioned, Dave McGoldrick. So we're actually we're doing this vlog on deadline day.
123 on deadline day.
123
so
on
lots to
deadline
happen. I don't think he'll go. I think he'll go at the end of the season. I think he knows he'll go at the end of the season. I think if we had a replacement lined up for him now, I would say let him go. A good replacement, not someone who's just going to fill in and not really contribute much, because he's on big wages. I think we need to clear the decks a bit.
Yeah.
I think he started the season really well. Funnily enough, the Sunderland game at home was the best I've seen him play in an Ipswich shirt. I think
Good,
he made them. I mean, he was in the middle of the park. He had Darren Gibson and Lee Cattermole. He made them look like 60-year-old men, literally just running around them, knocking around them. The last goal to Grant Ward was just amazing, setting it up.
I remember he nutmegged a bit.
He nutmegged someone. He turned someone, nutmegged someone, played a ball through to Grant Ward, which was A, perfectly weighted, B, not many would have seen it. And Grant Ward finished it off.
He's got it in his locker, isn't he?
He's got it in his locker, but you just don't see it enough.
Yeah.
And actually, to be fair, I mean, you look at the Wolves game, he was playing right back, right wing back.
I think he's sick of that.
And I'd be sick of that, because he's a sort of flair player. He can make stuff happen.
Definitely.
And he's been forced out onto the right wing. Paddington trying to shoehorn arguably our four best footballers into the team.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes. And I mean, we paid the price because for Wolves' goal, he let his man go.
He did.
But you can't point the finger too much because it's not instinctive.
No.
But I think he'll go at the end of the season.
Yeah,
free.
Agreed. I think he's one. So there's a couple of players whose contracts are up who have an option, don't they, to extend it? But
He doesn't have an option. Otherwise, I think there wouldn't be so much talk about it.
Yeah.
I think I'd be sad to see him go, but I think there's also always been talk about him wanting to go closer to Nottingham where his family is.
So let's, just before we go, have a quick score prediction for the trip up to Sunderland on Saturday.
Score prediction for me, I think I'm probably going to be pessimistic and go 1-1.
Okay.
Away from home, we've not looked particularly good.
Yeah.
It's a place we go. I think we've lost 7 or 8 in a row there, and we're struggling to keep clean sheets, and we're not scoring too many. So I'll go 1-1. I think we'll get one, but we'll concede as well.
Who's your goal scorer?
I think Wackle's due a goal, and his former club as well. So I'll go Wackle.
Go on, Wackle.
Yeah. How are you?
I'll go slightly more positive. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Ipswich Town win. I think it's going to be a scrappy game.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Typical McCarthy Championship scrap. But I think we might nick it late on.
Yeah, okay. Well, that'll be absolutely
We'll see. I'm going to go for Joe Garner.
Joe Garner. He's in good scoring form, I should be fair. Mostly from set pieces, but he's doing well.
So I will. I'll be enjoying my 8 AM train up from London to Newcastle and then on to Sunderland on Saturday. Thank you very much for joining me today, Freddie.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
And hopefully you can join me again soon. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Please do leave a comment, and do subscribe on this channel as well. And I'll be back next week.